This is my first rapid prep monologue that I'm doing as a mini-series within the larger 1000 Monologues challenge. It will emulate some audition and callback situations where you get brand new material and you only have a limited amount of time to prepare it. So for this one, I gave myself only 20 minutes to prepare this indie playwright's monologue. A rapid prep monologue will also only have one take, meaning I haven't done it 4, 5, 6 times. I only do one take as if that was my one shot to audition for the role. You can see in the corner my dog. Oh, he doesn't like the timer. So 20 minutes is up. Let's go do our take. Making wine takes time. It takes patience. It takes care. Hanging heavy on the vine, fat and ripe, like the chunky legs of children that have not yet learned to walk. The grapes are the winemaker's children. Like the sweet innocence of those babes, the fermenting process is such that all of the debris, the grape skins, their seeds, and the goodness that started on the vine will sink to the bottom of the barrel and will eventually need to be removed entirely. Try as you may to leave all of your childhood behind you in the bottom of a barrel, there will always be leftovers. Dust particles floating in the wine that never quite decide to sink. In order to have them removed, an agent must be released into the wine. As the agent sinks to the bottom of the barrel, it acts as a magnet, collecting all the adolescent particles that were left behind until it slowly makes its way to the very bottom. A collector of children. Some prefer to use egg whites, others bentonite, a kind of clay powder mixed with powdered milk. But everything you put into the barrel, no matter if it floats or lingers or sinks, will leave behind an impression. You can tell in the taste and in the aroma of the wine what kind of a life it has lived. A powerful man once told his disciples to eat his body, drink his blood. A powerful woman requires a powerful wine. Egg whites and milk are for children. I prefer the taste of powerful men. Okay, that was the first rapid prep monologue that I've done in this series. This was a fun exercise for me that certainly worked different muscles. But first, I want to thank Lindsay Partain, the playwright, who gave me permission to use her blood and wine monologue for the challenge. You can follow her on Instagram. She's a great independent playwright, so give her a follow. Also, my first breakdown of this monologue ran about 15 or 20 minutes long, so I took some notes and I am recording this on another day from the day that I filmed the monologue. This was a rapid prep monologue exercise that I framed like a callback. In my imagination, I was called back for this femme fatale character and had a prepared scene. They asked me to stay and then handed me new material and said they would call me back in about 15 to 20 minutes. This happens all the time in the real world with callbacks, where you come in with something prepared and then they hand you something new, and then you have a limited amount of time to do it, sometimes even less time than 20 minutes. I picked this monologue for my first rapid prep challenge because it's very similar to what I often get if I audition for an indie film or an original work play, where I don't have access to the source material, and many times that's because of NDA or protecting their work. When you're in this situation, it's about finding your footing fast with what you know that's on the page. So this is the process. I read it 2 to 3 times simply. more if I can. It depends on the length of the piece. I do that without acting, without putting myself in it. I just absorb what's on the page. Then I clarify the given circumstances for myself. I ask, what's literally happening? Who am I talking to? Where are we? What is our relationship? And how did we get here? Then I dig beneath the surface of what's literally happening to what's actually happening. Here's an example. The scene is shopping for engagement rings with a loved one. You could just say, oh, this is a fun scene. We're shopping for engagement rings. That could be. It could also be that I just found out that this person has been cheating on me. It could be that this is something we've waited to do for 5 years and finally we can. Whatever it is, there's always something more going on than just two people shopping for a ring. Dig beneath the surface. What's the emotional truth? What's not said? So once I have figured out what's literally going on and then what's actually going on underneath, then I memorize the first few and the last few lines so that when I start and end, I don't have my eyes on the page as much as possible, so that I can leave myself alone and just ride the wave once I set myself up into the emotional stakes when it's go time. Then I will sort out any physical action or props that I need to make sense of that will help tell the story. If the action or prop does not help tell the story or establish the character, I just drop it. It's not necessary. But sometimes it actually is critical to the character or the scene. And in this particular monologue, there's a lot of action about a wine glass. So I can tell just throughout this monologue that the wine glass is meant to be a weapon to taunt. So I decided to use my necklace as a stopgap because I'll have my script in one hand, but I can do that sort of taunting teasingness that's in the script about the wine glass on the necklace. And if that's like, I can't, drop it. You don't need to. For me, that was something I felt I could navigate, so I did. Then I do a quick imagination pass to help elevate the stakes for myself. So this is what happens if it all works out and what happens if it doesn't. We do this, we catastrophize or we fantasize. So I'll do a quick pass of that just to help me with stakes so that things aren't flat and they get very specific very quickly with this exercise, which I love. Then I choose playable actions. I tend to just pick one that carries me through that wave, and then I will warm that up with my imagination in the way that I do, where I use imaginary things that are meaningful to me, and then it's go time. If I'm honest, when I look at my take, I'm not sure I booked the role this time. I feel there's some things that work, but I also think there's some things that don't work. I think I'm a little less connected than I would like to be, but I think that the necklace work helped ground it. So that may have worked for me, but I think being a little too much in the page may have worked against me, to the point where because I'm in the page, I think on some level I was a little anxious, and so it can come off as I'm playing at an idea of who this killer woman is versus just being the killer woman. But that's okay. Acting isn't about nailing it every time and being perfect. Far from it. It's about moving through and finding the truth in all the imperfect moments that happen. And that's what the challenge is about. That's what this rapid prep was about. And that's really what this art form is about. It's about being as human as possible and being as truthful as possible. And that just means you're gonna have bumps along the way. So that was my first rapid prep monologue. 20 minutes, one take, and a lot of instincts and just accepting what happens. I'll likely do another one soon, so comment below if you'd like to see more. Hit that like button if it resonated, and then subscribe so we can keep exploring this together. Thank you so much.